So welcome back, guys. Gonna have another game here. Game number 2 between JackDReaper and the best name I've seen all day, bayagster. To be the greens are here for bayagster. Up on to the top left. On the other hand, gonna be JackDReaper on the bottom right. And of course, we have the usual. What else is gonna be new? I'm honestly just hoping for cheese. I don't know. I'm the type of guy who wants to see cheese over standard, because cheese is just very nakakaulol, to say the least. Just being able to watch cheese is very amusing. And in the meantime, JackDReaper gonna go for the scouting SCP. Bayagster just working on those minerals, and he's gonna get a expansion, of course, 300 minerals there to get the next hatchery out and about. And as I was saying before, a hatchery costs a little less than the command center and the Nexus. Command center and Nexus are 400, but this is 300 plus 50 because it does eat up your drone. So effectively, it costs 350 minerals. Still allows the Zerg though to expand a little earlier than they could, and then their other racial counterparts. The barracks now being put into play. And JackDReaper just oh, look at that drone. The drone getting into the fight. Is he gonna build an extractor here to just be a nuisance? Slowly build an extractor there. No, the refinery is out and about. And bayagster just microing this drone. Just going it up to do a few silly things. Making this SCP chase it around and honestly cue the Benny Hill music. Finally the drone gonna back off. And in the meantime, the Reaper gonna be into the play. The spawning pool will be out and about, however, here at a time that bayagster needs it. When the perfect time, honestly, to go for the spawning pool is when the Reaper is gonna come out soon, because you need to produce the Zerglings still to go for the chase around. Interesting position, however, from bayagster, put the spawning pool in the way of the extractor, so the drones do have to go for a quick little curvature. Might give them some scoliosis in the long run. But the meta boost now will be out into play in just a bit. As JackDReaper now giving the enemy drone a taste of his own medicine. Here comes the cluster charge, and it just brings the Zerglings almost to the SCV. Could have been dangerous right there for the time being. And now the Reaper versus these two Zerglings. A quick little engagement for now. The Queen also putting the larva inject as well, so more Zerglings will be out into play in just a bit. In the meantime, bayagster here with the Overlord, and it would be funny if the Overlord could like psionically transfer units. Like if you had an Overlord, they go into this one and they go into this one suddenly, like a Nidus, except Overlords. It would be really scary. But for now, bayagster looking for anything out of the ordinary. Gonna be JackDReaper though running the two Hellions into the Zerg base. We have a scan as well, so he knows the Meta Boost isn't out into play yet. He sees that spawning pool just swinging around. It's gonna be this Creep Tumor though falling, and that has been the name of the game of JackDReaper. He has been on point and taking care of those Creep Tumors, just making these queens as ineffective as they can. Maybe a little scouting there. Maybe bayagster is known for his queen play. Speaking of play, it's gonna be the Zerglings now running after these Hellions. The Hellions will need to stop when they go for the shot, and the Zerglings gonna go for the run by instead. Can bayagster get this around in time, getting a few hits there on to JackDReaper. It's gonna be a fast and furious clash, like Mad Max kind of deal. The Hellions though still on the retreat. The fangs and the claws of these Zerglings though doing a bit of damage there onto the paint of the Hellions. For now, both players coming out of it with this was a scratch for both players. I'll leave the stream open now. Okay, thanks, dude. But yeah, the Creep Tumor is gonna move on in once again, and here comes the Hot Wheels Beat That squad. The Acceleracers just patrolled up for some reason, looking around the expansion bases, maybe keeping an eye out on some bird units, maybe some banelings out there as well. The Overlord though getting way too close to the sun. That is the command center. That's gonna be an Overlord falling. Bayagster needs to build that one back up, and honestly, Overlords being rebuilt is such a hassle for any Zerg player. They just die so easily, and you need them for your supply. second extractor now out into the main as well as the second base. There are 2 Evo chambers out and about as well. So it looks like bayagster will be on double pumping upgrades, and on the other hand working on that Roach Warren as well. On the other hand, here comes the Banshee cloak play once again here from JackDReaper. Scan comes out and he's gonna toast some Zerglings, but not really to an effective degree. One of the Hellions gets way too close as it's smoking. It dies so easily, and it's now gonna back off into the rich middle field and beyond. Zerglings though able to stop the construction of the command center, and honestly Jack needs to heal this one back up, and it's gonna be very dangerous here for Jack to expand with bayagster's reach creeping onto his base. But he's still gonna build it up and almost around 600 HP. We'll see if he's gonna repair it first or he's gonna fly it over. Because if you fly it over first, at least you can use it immediately. On the other hand, if you repair it now, it'll be a lot safer when it gets there. I'm more of a camp of repairing it as it gets there instead of, you know, like before sending it there kind of deal. But to each his own, it's also very situational, just in case the opponent is already in place. Looks like though we do see some flaws here for the Roach Warren right now. I'm gonna go for the extra movement speed. Nothing really much in terms of upgrades here for the Zerg, however, and it's now a little late for bayagster. Actually, he actually got caught napping, and the Spore Crawler wasn't into play. The Banshee there getting a few hits with the Hellions, but the Queen's now getting the damage gun. The Spore Crawler gonna move on in once again, gonna set up into a better position, and JackDReaper's timing not really the best. Like, he could have gotten some damage, but sadly he didn't get it. Like, it was a good timing rather, but it wasn't a effective one. The Vikings though picking off some overseers, and now he's gonna fly off once again, just enjoying the sights of the Zergs once again. And the Banshee's gonna be on creep tumor duty. The missiles connecting onto those blobs on the floor, and it's gonna be bayagster once again trying to set these things up. We have an overseer here, and the Queen will be able to get them free hits there. On the Banshee, it's really low, gonna back off. The sky play here from JackDReaper not as effective as it could be. We do see some medivacs once again, however, his bread and butter, the multiple amount of Marines into play as well. What is that? Oh, it's gonna be a queue up into an attack here onto the left hand side. The Hellion there not spotting out these creep tumors for the time being. Then we movement from the Roaches, and look how fast they actually go. They get the kill so easily. Now they're gonna crawl in. The Roaches is getting back onto creep, and it's very important to be on creep for that movement speed. That's the point of playing the Zerg. You can easily swarm on in. That's why you want to go for the creep spread. That's why you want to connect your bases as much as you can. And those little Roaches might turn into big, ugly, mean beetles instead when they turn into Ravagers. Banshees though doing some damage out onto his Evo Chamber. Wants to stop the upgrade before he actually starts, but the Spore Crawler is into play, gets one, gets two Banshees. A little late retreat there from JackDReaper, and now bayagster is in the lead. And tables have turned in this one. bayagster one base ahead, and in terms of army supply has been absolutely solid so far. On the other hand, Jack has been able to get some damage done, getting a little worker kills as well. But still bayagster in the lead, having these Roaches overseers in play. An interesting tech switch rather from bayagster. Now he's gonna go for the Hydralisk, and the Roach is gonna retreat. They know that they don't have the support of the overseers anymore. Gonna back off, wait for a next attack. On the other hand, JackDReaper taking his time to move on and scaring him with his scans. Looks like though the debris will be cleared up by these Hydras and these Roaches. And they do have +1 onto both of their upgrades, so the Hydra Roach combination very potent in the ground unit fights. The Roaches will try to armor up as much as they can in terms of the light damage. The siege tanks will of course siege in, and a pretty early step back once again from the Marines, thinking it was time to fight, but instead they just take their drugs instead. Oh, that's rare. We get the We have seen the transport upgrade here for these overlords rather, and they're gonna go for the Q in, but sadly the Viking will be able to see them out. Yeah, these roach upgrades actually being committed heavily in favor of bayagster as well as those hydras. In the meantime, here come the drop play once again from JackDReaper, causing a little chaos onto the main base. Medivac so low, almost falling, but bayagster able to queue up some overseers once again. And honestly, by this point, I would just put up a bunch of crawlers, both Spar and Spine, on the side of bayagster. These drones just waiting on for these Marines to be cleaned up. Speaking of drop play, here comes bayagster dropping things up. Now the missile turret falls, and now he's working on the reactor as well. We do see a main engage, however, from bayagster. He's just going for the split attack. Look at this. These roaches and hydras getting the free hits on the production structures, and the roaches and the hydras now marching on in once again. But JackDReaper building a wall of barracks. It's gonna be a very, very economical wall. It even cancels out the tech lab upgrade. The siege tank tool left behind once again, and the Marines unsure of what to do. They're gonna go for the main base first, get rid of the drop play. With the damage now being done here by the main army, it's going to be a liftoff from the orbital command. Sadly, the siege tank being abandoned, and these SCVs stuck in the corner. The Marines now going to come back in full force, but a little tired of that fight. And this barracks is absolutely flaming, as well as the chances now here for JackDReaper, as he might see his victory go up in flames in this one. Look at bayagster walking on in once again. Look at his base. Look at his army supply. He's been so on point with building up those roaches and those hydras. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4 bases and can move on to a 5th one in just a bit. The roaches this time gonna go on to the right hand side, and it's just looking for an opening. Might want to get rid of this debris first, allow the Zerg a lot more freedom to actually move on in. The Marines though don't want to get into this fight. Be absolutely dangerous to deal with these roaches in this state. JackDReaper though sieging up at a very inopportune moment. The roaches are in position to take care of those two. The acid now being piled onto these Marines. You see the roaches though being roasted for the time being. They're gonna back off once again. As honestly, roaches aren't really the best thing to deal with Marines. That's what the hydras are there for instead. The medevacs though just patrolling around, just being queued up, want to go for some drop plays once again. Every time Jack is losing a fight, he does send out these medevacs to go for some drops, and these drops are very good at, you know, splitting the attention of your opponent. Very, very good calls here from JackDReaper. Not really expensive units. He only commits around 400 minerals like their worth of Marines per medevac. Not really the most expensive kind of commitment in terms of time as well. So easy to build them up. You get the barracks up and the reactors as well. Another command center now being built by JackDReaper. In the meantime, the Marines on janitorial duty, taking care of those creep tumors once again. The spine crawler though into play, gets a kill onto two Marines, and here comes the army after the sacrifice there of the spine crawler. In the meantime, we have the mutable into the mineral line, getting those kills onto those SCVs. Working on the engineering bay as well, but oh no, mutalists, they're just dying left and right. Bayagster taking too long to micro them out. A little wasteful, honestly, with those mutas. We do see +3 though being put up as well as for both armor and range. We also have a Greatest Fire gonna come out into play. Will we see some Broodlords? That is the real question, as we have the medevac get picked off into the air. The roaches and the hydralis just waiting on for the next opportunity. In bayagster, look at how much minerals and gas he's floating right now. He can just tech up. He can build 1 million Zerglings and still have change for some drones as well. But the Mutas still going for the poke onto the barracks. The Marines split up once again. It's gonna be one of the Mutas still falling. Getting lit up from the ground. Here comes the rest of the Zerg, however, and honestly, his army is a little scary. 112 army supply, and he's queuing up these Corruptors. Corruptors very good against dealing with those medevacs, and also Corruption is a solid skill to go for the debuff play. He can turn those into Broodlords later on as well. If he does have, what does he have? He has the Hive Tech right now. Greater Spire just finally has been turned into one. And the Corruptors might be able to fly on in the Roaches and the Hydras, though building the bulk of the Zerg army. And also, where are those Corruptors? I'm still looking for them. I actually don't know where they are. Oh yeah, they're gonna go for the Broodlord. The Broodlord play! Gonna be some artillery from above here from bayagster. Could be very, very dangerous here for JackDReaper because he has Marines, yes. But the Broodlords can just fly on impassable, unobtainable terrain. And the Marines can pretty much do nary a thing to them. The Roaches and Hydras, however, are supported by some Infestors, so Fungal will be the name of the game. We might even see in Europarasite. No, that's Queen, I'm sorry about that. Oh, the Siege Tank, though, getting a pretty good hit, killing one of the Roaches already. We have Adrenal Crawls gonna be played into this fight. And now the Broodlords making it rain. Gonna be the Broodlings, though, getting focused on by the Siege Tanks, and this is very dangerous in terms of micromanagement. JackDReaper kind of burning his own units. This is exactly what bayagster needed to do. Cause a lot of chaos with those Broodlings. Here come the Roaches and the Hydralings just trying to clean up the engagement. Very, very dangerous right now for JackDReaper. He's focused fire onto those, but that's going to be GG. A very quick GG call as the Marine lines fall. The Broodlords getting those kills. And bayagster just holding on to the economical lead, applying so much pressure, allowed to tech up to a Broodlord standard, and that is going to be game 2 between these two guys.